There it is. There it is. Protect your heart. Proteja tu corazón. It's in the box. Woo, it's looking literachi. I see what you're doing out here, bro.
How you doing?
Yo, zoom in on that box, though. The top right there. The yin yang. Juice. Woo! With the heart on the bottom, the locket style, though? With the
Yeah,
chain on it?
yeah.
Yes.
Hooked
Si,
it up.
senor.
Hooked it up
That's
for them.
beautiful, King. That's
Got
beautiful.
what you leave going on right now.
So, yo, ladies and gentlemen, everybody out there, look out the beautiful merch. Look at the artwork. It's going down. We got Uncuttart in the building with us, aka Uncaso, the founder, the developer of the Protect Your Heart movement. Protect Your Heart Day coming up soon, 423. So
Yes.
we real excited to have you out here with us, bro, and love the fact that we're able to show and give a platform to you and give the viewers and the people that are about this culture a little bit of opportunity to sit in the chat with you, King. Salute.
Yeah, man, thanks for giving me the platform for us to have this conversation and allow the people to get in on it. And
Can't hear you too great.
can you hear me?
I can't hear you too great. I'll let the folks let me know. Can you hear him? You get a mic check.
Can you guys hear us? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
It's pretty
One, two,
good. It's
one,
pretty
two.
good. Let me
Turn
turn
my
off.
volume down.
I'm gonna turn off my devices over here. Make sure I
I
don't
got
have
to
no
turn my
music or
volume
nothing playing
down.
in the background.
You can't hear me still?
It's low. It's low.
It's low?
It's
It's
low.
still
But
low?
I'm about to put in my earpiece so that I could get tuned in.
You guys can hear, okay, they can hear. It's cause an echo. What echo? I don't hear no echo.
Yeah, let me just throw this
Echo,
joint
cool,
in right
cool,
here
cool, cool, cool.
and see
Shout out to
if I can
everybody
hear
that's on
better.
the live right now. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys got your questions and not nothing
Boom,
that I
boom.
heard before either.
There we go. So I'm locked
Yes.
in. What's up, brother? How you?
Good, good. Great, 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 great. At these beautiful times of transitioning ourselves, this is a it's one of those times when you don't know, you just gotta just grow. But
Real
I'm
talk.
enjoying it, and like I said, I appreciate you even creating this platform for people like me to be able to just still be interactive with our what we do with our clients and some of our fans and some of our family and friends through this process right here. So I'm definitely appreciable for this right here.
Salute you, brother. And we appreciate your time. I know that everybody's locked in and they're in their zone right now. So I'm sure your creative juices is flowing crazy and you're
They
doing.
haven't. They really haven't. Um, since this thing started, I've been getting a lot of DMs and calls pertaining to energy and pertaining to what's happening, and people just not comprehending it accurately. So I took it upon myself to take the time out and literally dive in. And I was obsessed with this situation when it first happened, as far as trying to figure out what the energy or what the universe is trying to tell us, because I knew this was not a man-made situation, even though they made it seem like the reason why we was in was because they want us to be in. But I really knew that the universe was behind it, and I had to figure out how and what we're supposed to be doing at this time. And I just was going hard, and I kind of figured it out. So I was able to I figured out the best of my best of the knowledge, and I kind of was able to talk to a lot of people during my live, and we exchanged a lot of information that kind of calmed a lot of people's mental nerves down and kind of helped them keep them on a high vibration. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm just now 3 days ago just started getting back into painting. And this right here, Mr. Levine asked me for this 2 months ago, and I just couldn't do it. He
Yo,
just kept telling me, "Yo, you didn't do the thing yet. You the only one left." I'm like, "Yo, I want to paint it, but I don't want to just give you anything. I want to take my time and put my heart into this." He was like, "Nah, but we want it," and
facts.
I just couldn't do it. So I just sat down and did it. I'm trying to ship it out to him tomorrow. Hopefully, I can make the deadline.
That's what's
But
up, yo. And you hit us with an exclusive. I mean, I've been following his movement, and I know he's about to launch the online virtual and all that. But he hasn't been showing the insides of the boxes.
yeah.
So Adam Levine freestyle. When you watch this later on, we saw the goods. We saw what's going on inside the box. You heard?
Yeah, mine is different. Everybody got a little bit of difference inside there. So I'm looking forward to this little project. It was fun, but like I'm looking forward to getting back into my creative space. And the thing about me and my creative space is now art has to change, because times is changing, and my art is always part of the times and is part of energy aspects. So being that the energy is changing around us, I just been thinking about what kind of art am I going to have to create that's going to aid the people in their next step, in their next journey, in these transitional times, pretty much. Like Protect Your Heart to me was a way of bringing people into this space right here. Like I knew this was coming eventually, and it was important for us to get to the point where we was protecting our energy, because our energy was everything. And I had to push the Protect Your Heart out there for that purpose. But now that we at this point, I feel like there's a new message that needs to be out there. Like people need to now start using their hearts to make these decisions and start doing things, start actively doing things. So I got a couple of new ideas that I've been pondering. You'll see.
That's what's up. That's
I'm
what's
still
up.
still working on the Uncare Bear thing we're gonna do when we get
Yeah,
back.
yeah. We just postponed right now, and everybody who I've spoken to with regards to, the hunt, and our other kind of physical activations, I just say, right now we just planning. Everything's still there. It's just about when we're gonna execute and get to it. So with that, I'll start with the first question that we have, because I see Nat, Life and Times, oh Nat in the chat. She's super active, and she reached out with a couple of questions for you. And so, one of the first questions that she had was in regards to your name, and how you came up with the name, whether it's Uncut Art or Uncaso. Where's it derived from?
Uncasa was given to me. Like one of my cousins was like, "You're not uncut, you Uncasa or whatever." So that's like a family thing that I play with. But Uncut Art, like my real name is Understanding. Nobody knows that. So
There it is. Well, exclusive.
so
You know what I mean?
I was always on.
Wow.
I was always on in the hood, and to everybody, to my mom, to everybody. But Uncut Art came out when the art came out. I felt like I had a style that was raw, and I felt like it came from nowhere, and it came from my heart. So I felt like it was an uncut type of raw type of pureness to my art, that and to me at the same time, I think of me in my creative sense as have a purity to it, where it comes from somewhere raw, somewhere dark, and that's in my soul pretty much. So Uncut Art to me has a lot to do with just having this raw, pure attitude about life, and my art is pure and raw, and it comes from the space of free and raw, and it's uncut.
There it
Yeah.
is.
But I had a street uncut name, but it had a lot to do with uncutting stuff, which was not a DJ either.
With uncut and stuff,
Yeah,
we're talking New York lifestyle stuff.
yeah. Back
Yeah,
kids, kids
yeah. I
being
know
a
it.
small kid and being like the smallest kid in school, and just learning that cutting was the fastest way to defend yourself.
Real facts. So, so that said, that's a good transition, because the second question that Nat came with was with regards to your first piece of art, right? So, we go with where the name derived from, and then we fast forward to kind of like, what was the first? I know the answer to this one because I've been on my research. Let me just let you know. But for the fans out there and for the folk, like, what's the first piece? What was that experience putting it up? Getting it in, and how to go down.
What do you mean, like the first mural or the first art piece?
Your first piece of street art, graffiti, tagging, whatever it was, that first exposure to that street art life.
Wow. My first piece of street art. When I decided to, what's funny is this, right? When I first started thinking about doing street art, it was only because I had art that I wanted to show the world, and I had to figure out how do I do that. I didn't know how to do graffiti. I didn't know how to use a spray can. I was not good at
Mm.
none of that stuff, but I had the art. So then I started looking up to people that had similar art like me, and those people would be the Obeys and the Banksies, because it would be the Obeys really, not even the Banksies yet, because I wasn't even into Banksy until like later. But Obey was the first person because he had a technique that he was doing called the wheat pasting, where he was
So
taking
like Shepherd
these
Fairy.
prints. Yeah. So he was taking
Mm-hmm.
these prints and he was wheat pasting them, and I had images. I had my art, and I wanted to print them because I figured that's the only way to get it out to people. And I
Mm.
printed a whole bunch of Michael Jacksons, and I learned how to make wheat paste at home through YouTube. And I tried to make wheat
YouTube,
paste, and the first
baby.
place that I wheat paste anything was in my house, like in my on my door was where the first Michael Jackson. And I was like, okay, let me go test it out. So I walked to
So
like the
you
corner.
actually hit it in the crib first? You threw one
Yeah,
up?
yeah. I threw it up on my I threw it up on my door. Like, let me see if this shit gonna work, and it worked. And then I went to the corner. I was like, let me see if it's gonna work. Then it worked. And then I started figuring out where's the first place that you do street art. And
Mm.
I started out in Brooklyn. In my first night going out there to actually do street art and put out my Michael Jackson, I got arrested the first
So
night.
first you hit the crib,
Yeah,
then you hit the corner, which is all
just so I could
safe.
test. That's all test
That's
because I'm right
safe,
on the
right?
corner. And
And
then I was
so
like,
when you
cool,
hit
I'm ready to
out,
go. I'm ready to go. But the one thing I didn't study, or I didn't
you didn't do the
get information
knowledge.
on was location. I didn't get the
Mm.
knowledge on the location where street art will be good, because my whole thing is this, right? There's a rule to street art where it's like, like Bushwick have some street art, Lower East Side got street art,
True.
certain places. I didn't believe in that shit. I believe that wherever the hell I want to put my art should be street art. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to bring my art to the people, not the people that was interested in art, but the people that wasn't interested. I didn't even know about street art. So I just started in where I was living, which is in Crown Heights. And funny thing is, I where I went was like the hood, and it was like there was a group home right down the block. So police was rotating that area a lot.
So it was
So it was
already
like
bubbling out there.
yeah, I was in a hot
It was
area.
dumb
So
hot.
yeah, so I realized that it's not good to go and put art in a place that's already hot, because now you're being double hot. So I
Mm-hmm.
learned a lot that first night. I didn't get arrested. I got a ticket. I got a ticket. I got lucky. And the dude asked me what am I doing? I'm putting up my art. He was like, "You're not supposed to." I'm like, "Well, I don't know that." You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that, So I learned very fast. Very, very fast. But that was my first piece of art on a street piece, like little. It was real small. It was like a 8 by 10 piece of paper that I cut up into
Mm.
the face of Michael Jackson, and
There
then
it
I
is.
was
And
like,
YouTube got you there, basics.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah, yeah. University of YouTube. I went there for like a year and a half, and
all
that's
right.
all I did was research, trying to figure it out. How can I do it? Where can I do it? Da da da. What kind of artist has done it before? What kind of artist that's successful that's done it before? And if they're successful, what road did they take to get successful? Like I would study the whole shit to kind of know what I was getting into. So when I started coming across some of these things that are along the line of what I was familiar with, that I wanted to be down with, I'll be familiarized with them. And when I was coming across things that I knew that wasn't part of me and what I wanted to grow into as an artist, I'll move away from it. So
You
that kind
got
of
the
helped out
you
a
got
lot.
the chat you got the chat lit up talking about I didn't know I couldn't do that. I just putting up my art.
That shit worked. That shit worked. You know what? You know
It
it's
kept you
funny?
out.
When I went to court and the judge asked me what I was doing, I was like, well, I work for school and we were doing a documentary, a Michael Jackson day. So me and the kids was going out putting stuff out. And the judge was like, well, find another place to put your art. Dismiss.
Mm. Yo,
And every time I go
listen.
up there for Week Pace, I say the same thing. Well, I was doing stuff with these after school kids. We was putting up art. And they was like, well, find another job. Dismissed.
There it is though,
This
man. You're
was
trying to
good.
help
I
the
was like, I'm
youth
doing my
out.
job. I was like, I was working, officer. Like, I was working just like you working. And all they could say is, yo, find another job. Because, yo, like, they know that, they be paying people to be out there putting up shit. You know what I'm
Real
saying?
talk.
So, you can work it out.
Excellent. So let's
But,
jump into our third question.
yeah.
This one just came in from the chat. This is from Photo Mall, who's a street art photographer. Salute
Hey,
to her.
Photo.
What are your sources of inspiration for your art? What are the drivers? What moves you when you get ready to create something? What's the inspiration?
what people need, what's missing, fill the void, you know, always fill the void. You know, like you're an artist, you're a creator. You're supposed to create ways, opportunities. You're supposed to create to the point where people see there's no boundaries in creation. You're supposed to just do shit that allows people to see the infinite aspect of being free to create. Because a lot of people stop themselves from creating because they have past thoughts and past situations that says you can't do this or these things are not allowed. But being free of that allow you to create. So my inspiration has always come from doing something that I know can help people move into this next paradigm, whether it's in the next evolving state of theirs, which helps me as well because it helps me evolve as well. So it's like I'm not motivated by your normal thing because I don't do this for your normal reasons. Like my art is not like I don't consider myself an artist before I was a philosopher or before I was a thinker. And I just wanted to find a way to put my philosophy and my thoughts into something that can be can be handed over to the people in a nice plate of food where it looks beautiful, and the art was the best way to dress my message, to dress my me. Because one thing I noticed about having words or having a view of life is that nobody's going to listen to you if you're just a nobody. You needed a name, you needed some type of credibility or some type of fame or some bullshit like that. So I seek to get myself known so that way my words could be valued enough to be heard. And once you hear my words, you start hearing yourself, and then that's all I needed, just the ear. So yeah, it's also
Dope.
trying to figure out how to get people's ears because society always got our attention on shit that we don't need, and it's always getting our attention. The news, whether it's the news, whether it's the ads, whether it's the billboards, whether it's the magazines, everything wants our attention. It's always driving us away from our true self. So I seek to go do the same thing, get everybody's attention, but drive them closer to their true self, which is closer to their self of love. So self love, yeah. That would be the
That's
best way for that.
that's facts. That's remarkable, King.
Yes.
So another question here, and it's we're not gonna do a two-parter, but I'll lead with the first one.
Where did fame come from? What fame? Oh, is that what you got on? He said, where does fame come from? Fame.
AME.
I don't know. What fame?
Is that the fame show that you did in Miami? Um,
The fame. Oh, the fame gallery show?
the game, yeah, I guess the Fame Gallery show.
Or fame is an organization that I work with. When would pop up? Yeah, it's an organization that I work with every year that we do a group pop-up show with a lot of different artists at Art Basel and across the world because we travel as well. And Fame is owned by one of my good friends, Anais, and
Yeah,
he doing
Anais.
Anais orchestrates all these shows and in a way to give artists opportunity to show at Basel. And I'm a very good friend of hers and partner in the whole Fame situation. So whenever she does it, I'm always there to help see it through. Whether I'm in it or not, I know it's a good platform for artists that are either scared to even show at Basel or don't know where to show at Basel. This gives them a platform. So shout out to Fame Galleries, Fame Worldwide for providing those things for those people.
No doubt.
So that's what Fame is. How old is it? Fame is like 6 years old. It started, where did it begin? In Miami, Art Basel. It started at Basel 2014. 2014. Basel 14. I think their first show was 2014 or 13. That was their first show. My first Basel was 2014. I think theirs was 13. Yes. When I did my shit was 14. My first short Art Basel was 2015. My first mural Art Basel was 2014 when I first went down there and got lucky and got a mural.
Hey, listen, it's just about alignment, right?
Yeah, it was great
So,
alignment. It was.
so with regards to that, I know you do a spiritual meditation every day at 11:11. Can you talk about the significance of the 11:11 number and why you do it every day?
Well, I'm not a numerologist, so I just picked that number because it's a very good number that people are very familiar with, and I always see that number. So I don't have a thing for the number. I just know that's a number that I always see 1111. I always see 111. So when it was time for me to come up with a time, 1111 just made sense. And we don't normally always start at 11:11 because in all actuality, clock time is not our time, so it's just a reference time that we use. So it's a lot with that, but the meditation thing only came about during this time of isolation that we've been experiencing, and it's not something that I say, hey, I'm gonna want to do it, and it was literally pushed upon me because every day I was getting on live expressing this peaceful calmness to people, and it just turned into something that people were just like, yo, we should do meditation every day for the people that need to hear this message, need to get this calmness. So we just started doing it, and I don't know how long that's gonna last, because
Yeah.
me, I like to be alone. I like to do these things by myself because I get a lot more. FYI, when I do meditation with people, I'm not actually meditating. I'm actually, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah, it
actually
sounds
there to help.
impossible, right?
So like I need to just I meditate before I do shit with people or after, because I do need my time. And then now that we've been going diving more into the word meditation, is not something that you do a little bit or a lot of it. It's just a process that happens throughout your day of deep thinking that's embedded in you, that has to do with your personal growth to yourself. So you could be meditating, just driving, just thinking about just how dope you are as an individual, but not thinking about making money or thinking about, material stuff, or more spiritual aspect of yourself, trying to dig deep into figuring out who you are and what you are that's inside of your body. That's meditation. It happens in different forms. So I'm learning and trying to get people to learn themselves, because I can't take you there. You have to take yourself there. I can just tell you how I go and you figure out how you go yourself.
Facts. So
Emo, add questions in the chat. Yes.
yeah, just letting folks know that they had an opportunity. There's a couple of new folks that just joined, so make sure you get in the chat. People that have been here already, please add any questions that you might have in the chat. We've done 5 so far. That last one was one of my own questions. I have one here that's from Christy C NYC, who is a street art photographer as well. And she hit me up earlier in the week, and she said, if you weren't a street artist or an artist, what would you do? What would your gig be?
If I wasn't doing street art right now, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because I left what I was doing to do this, because that's where peace was. Right before this, I was managing a recording studio where I was just helping artists follow their dreams, whatever that was. And um, I had dreams too. Mhm.
Yeah.
And my dream has always been to, and it's weird because it may sound funny to y'all, but as a kid, when I was like 3 years old, I can remember this shit as vivid as day. And I was jumping on the bed and I was literally zoning out about what I would be when I grow up as an individual, like an older individual. And I literally remember telling myself that I want to be like Superman and I want to have superhero powers so I can help save the world, some type of shit. And the universe heard me, and I felt like my ability to connect with the universe, my ability to connect with my inner self is my superpowers. My ability to communicate with people is my superpowers. My ability to see certain light or help people navigate themselves to their own light is my superpower. So I felt like my prayers was answered. So I've always wanted to be this individual with this light that that would shine so bright that would pretty much help people find their own light, which I didn't know that was the way to express it, but it was always in my heart to be that person. I just didn't know it was going to be in this form, because of course this is, we didn't get a vision of this when we was 2 years old. So
Yeah,
I,
it's
I think that
interesting.
whatever it would be, if I wasn't doing art or street art, I would be doing something pertaining to spreading these words, because these words was always with me before the art. It would be finding a way to spread these words to the people in the best possible way. If it wasn't art or that, I'd probably be doing it through poetry, or I'll find a way to write a book or fucking write a movie. Either way, this message would have came out some way, somehow.
So you always had that driving force. It was just a matter of how it was going to manifest itself.
Yeah, because I knew that my journey, because this is my journey. For people that don't know, I just told my homegirl this, and this is for people to really understand what happened to me. Like something really happened to me. You know, like I don't know what happened. I can't tell you the line that switched things up for me. But at some point of my career, because I was doing a lot of stuff in this industry, I came in the industry as a casting director for like 8 years. I did nothing but films and commercials. My first movie was Belly. So if you think about the movie Belly and everybody that worked on that movie, those are all the people that I came up with, from Chris Robinson to Hype Williams to the DMXs to the Nas's to the Puffies. Those are all the people that
Dope.
like I worked with on their level, not under them, not for them. It's like my company worked with their company, and that's how I came into this game. So I came in kind of a well-known individual, and throughout my career, something happened that made me realize that this industry was really not what I was told it was, and it wasn't based on truth and harmonious, beautiful things. It was based on this mystical way of making people feel a certain way, or making people just down, just a whole bunch of not positive things. And I got caught up in it, where I got, blindsided by some paperwork stuff. Either way, I got put into this precious stage of my life where I wanted to just kill everything, and it was not me. It didn't feel like me. So I seek to be at peace with myself. And that brought me to a place in Baltimore where I was like this place. You know how we on house arrest right now? And everybody's
Word.
waiting when she go outside. Like I was in a situation where it wasn't house arrest. I was comfortably, had phone access. I had, go out, but I didn't go out. I was learning how to meditate, because meditation was what I needed to calm my anger and my need to just destroy things, because I felt that depressional stage. It was just like, it's like no way coming back from that shit. You would either die from it or somebody would die. I got away from New York behind that, and I seek to find peace, and meditation was brought to my attention, and I found myself in a place where I learned meditation to the most deepest aspect every day. Every day for 2.5 years. For
Wow.
2.5 years, I would meditate on different things, for different things, about different things, and I would learn so much things about my inner self through these meditations, that it was just so eye-opening to me that all this thing was inside of me all this time, and half of it I found that I was looking for it elsewhere. So I felt like this journey was such a beautiful journey that I felt like I wanted to bring it back to the people. I was like, yo, everybody needs to know about this. All the things
Facts.
I've been looking for was inside. Yo, everybody, I got it. I found it. So then it's like, how you gonna come back into population after not being seen for 3 years, talking about you got it? You got what, nigga? You got what? You know what I'm saying? So nobody's
Right.
gonna listen to you. So I had to learn how to verbalize all this thing, that all these experiences, all this non-physical aspect of understanding. Talking about the neo, I went through the neo process, the whole neo, waking up, taking the pill, the whole aspect of when he stood in the hallway and he saw everything as like I went through all those processes in my life where I was in a room and everything looked the same. Everything was vibration, because there was no fridge, there was no chair, there was no table, there was no meat. It was just one fucking thing. And that was toward the end of my journey of my studies, and I just wanted to come back and tell people about this journey, and they have to take it. Yeah, you got to go inside. That's where it's at. Go inside. That's where it's at. But like, how you tell people to go inside when they're so infatuated with outside, when they're infatuated with how they look and who they are? Because one of my things that I had to do throughout my journey was meet my demon, meet the person that you created. He's the cool guy that got all the girls, that does all the casting, and everybody likes him. He's so cool. Meet him, because he's not even real. You made that motherfucker up, and then now you're trying to convince people that he existed, but really he didn't exist, because you just been lying to yourself. Meet that person, and then I had to be the one to tell myself and convince myself, and be at peace with the fact that you created this image of yourself that wasn't even real, and the true you is in here, and he has no biases. He has none of this thing that you thought you were. That's not really you. So I had to own up to that and let that ego aspect, the ego part of me go. I had to let it go. I
Facts.
had to just meet that motherfucker, and it hurt. It hurt because It hurt to just see that you've been lying to yourself all your life. I'm cool. I'm this. I'm that. And I'm this. And it's all based on you see somebody else do it. It's all based on how you see something else live because you're like, fuck it. This guy got a cool car. I got a cool car. Then I'm cool. So it's like you just creating images and creating stories. And then you'll try to feed it to people, force feed people this idea of who you think you are, and then you try to portray it every day. So every day now you have to keep in mind, what's the idea that I told people I was? Oh yeah, I told them I was a cool guy, so I gotta always be cool. I gotta walk a certain way. I gotta talk a certain way. And that was the life that we lived. And I realized that was not life. That was not life. That was just living based on somebody else's idea of me. That was life based on somebody else, what they told me I was. Somebody told me you was cool, then fucking I'm cool. Somebody told me that you're this, then fucking that's what I am. And that became me. And I realized that that wasn't it. So that was
So it
my
sounds like
plan.
you went on a real serious journey inward, you
Yeah,
know.
inward. And I
And
wanted to,
so,
and I felt like everybody needed to go on that journey in order for them to fully understand where I was coming from at all times, from a soul perspective, not an ego perspective. Love your soul, love your soul.
so
Yeah, so that was
yo,
my
let's
journey, y'all.
encourage everybody to add their questions in the chat. We gotten through about 6 questions. We're on so far. We digging in
Yes,
deep.
add your questions. We're trying to get
We
23
trying to,
questions right now.
hey, 23, whatever. Let's
That's our
get
that's our
it.
number. So even though you know me, even if you know me, you might want me to answer a question that you know the answers to that you know might help people still ask
Facts.
that question. So that's
Facts.
talking to Michelle and Phoenix because Phoenix know everything. So she's like, well, I gotta ask question. I know everything, and you might that's my replay. Ask questions that you
Shout
know people
Phoenix,
need to
yo.
hear. You know, shout to Mr. Samurai. Peace. If you have any
So
questions for me, please ask it now. We're doing question. DJ Don Black, shout to you.
shout. So I seen a lot of butterflies, butterfly wings in your pieces as I went through photographs and just kind of looked back through some of the more popular stuff from the catalog. Is there a reason why we have a lot of butterflies incorporated and why that imagery is kind of resonates throughout?
Let me tell you something about me and art so you can fully understand. I don't know the answers to half the shit that I do
You just
right
feel it.
away. Because the thing is like when you're connected to source, and I call it source, like when you're connected to your heart, when you're connected to this energy that tells you to do stuff, whether you understand it or not, you still do it. That's where I'm at with it all the time when it comes to my heart, my art, my heart, because it's like I might have a reason to do something, but I might feel that reason is biased. If it comes from my mind, I might feel like it's biased, and if it does, it might be a personal something for somebody personally. But when it comes to me doing something that's universal, I do it from a space of non thoughts, so that way it can apply to everybody in such a universal way. And I do it with the universe, so it's always a message behind it that has to do with upcoming things that people could relate to in their own way. So when I look back at the butterfly, I have because first I do it and then I look back at it because that's how it usually works. You're not supposed to think about it, then do it. You're supposed to do it, then break it down through that process. So when I look at the butterfly, I always think about the evolving of humankind, the evolving of one's self from one stage to the other. And currently, we're going into the butterfly stage. Currently, as we speak, we in a cocoon right now. We in a
Facts.
cocoon right now as we speak, and we're supposed to
It's
come out as
true.
butterflies. And
We hope so.
some people are in their cocoons with their television and their phones, and some people are in their cocoons by themselves, just transforming and just transforming into a beautiful butterfly. So we're gonna see who the butterfly is and who's gonna have phones when they come out, because the butterfly's gonna be flying with no phone, and everybody's gonna be walking with phones.
With their head down.
With their head down. So I think the butterfly symbolizes the next phase of our time as human beings on this earth, and it's definitely changing. Our frequency is changing, our mindset is changing, our way of looking at life is changing.
Facts.
So eventually, I think everything is gonna change back to it's gonna flip. You know, the things that we used to think was good is going to be bad, and the things we used to think was bad is we're gonna realize, oh, it's been good. Just like when we talk about good food tastes bad and bad food tastes good, that's a brainwashing technique because good food is supposed to taste good, you know? And if you tell yourself that, then that's what's going to happen. And I've always tell myself that. And I've always think, oh my God, this is good for you. Then it's going to taste nasty. And then guess what? I always put that in my head. So A lot of that stuff is growth, and we're in the growth space right now. And I hope everybody's taking the opportunity to grow. And these things, like, these platforms is part of the growth process as well, because a lot of people don't know that they need to be sitting down and just reflecting and doing what the earth is doing, which is cleansing and healing and all that good stuff. So
Yeah,
hopefully
it's
they get
true.
that.
I mean, it's definitely an opportunity, right? And it's great that we have these tools and these different technologies, but we also need to like read a book, get grounded, go outside. You know what I mean? Just listen, be still.
Yes,
You
I don't
know.
like reading books. That's not my thing. I'm not a book reader because I don't like reading other people's information. And because usually people's information is usually biased based on their perspective. And if you're gonna read one person's information, then you must read everybody's information, and that's too much. So I'd rather just rely on my information and just go from there. Just trust my heart. It's always gonna give me the information.
Yeah,
What
it
music do
is.
you like to listen to? What music do I like to listen to? Well, depending on the time of day, then we have different music for different time of day, and there's no time of day for nothing because it really changes. So
Mm.
today's music of choice was, of course, I started today was Lovely Day. Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. Yeah, that was my morning song. And then I
Yo, I
went
think you could have
to,
been a singer, fam.
yeah, I could have too, man. I was thinking about that too. I was like, shit, I could sing for you today.
There it
Ooh, ooh,
is,
ooh, ooh,
yo.
ooh. And then I played this today. This is another song that I've been listening to the last couple of days.
Don't rush. Still
Hey,
good. Brown and white. Like a good country.
vibes,
And that's probably because it's been on
vibes.
everybody's freaking thing. But I like classical music. I like a lot of piano. I like a lot of piano with, like a lot of my music that I paint to is like classical, piano, opera, Enya, just real
You playing some
things.
Yan? You got some Yanni on over there?
Yeah, yo, that's one of my favorites, man. I just like my computer's acting up, but definitely I have a list of piano players that are just enormous dope composers. So I listen to them a lot. I listen to African music. I listen to Jamaican. I listen to yeah,
A lot of different
African.
vibes depending
Yeah,
on
just the
what.
vibes. Yeah, man. I just try to get the vibes, and vibes always change with me. It's like it's never one thing. I like everything. I don't
Mm.
like rock music because it's too much. Can't do that shit.
I mean, it depends. You know, they got some soft rock.
Never. Soft rock, yeah, man. Soft rock is easy. That's soft rock. We talking about, you know what I'm saying? You talking about Phil Collins
Right,
and
right,
those
right,
kind of guys.
right.
I rock with them.
Genesis.
Yeah,
You
man.
know,
What app do you use? What app? What do you mean what app? Music app? I don't even have a music app.
I don't know. Is that
Oh,
about?
I use Pandora. I got Pandora. And my channels on Pandora is Enya, because Enya got that real smooth thing. And I
Yeah,
got
Enya's like it's like you in the water swimming when you hear some Enya though.
yeah, so I fucks with Enya heavy because then she on her channel is a lot of piano composers like Wilson.
Mm.
Philip Wilson is one of my favorite. Yakuri I forgot his name, but he's nasty with it. But there's a lot of dope dudes that I like when it comes to piano and just playing dope ass music. And yes, music app. Yeah, I got Pandora. I don't
There
have
it
nothing that
is.
I have to sign my name with. I don't like to put my name on stuff like Apple Music and all that. You gotta fill up. I'm never like I don't like to put my name into internet stuff too much. So the least apps I could sign to, the better. The least anything, the better for me. The least things on computer I put my name on, I'm all for it. So I don't be wanting to do too much apps and too much of that shit. I hate those. I'm actually working on my own app, but that's another story.
But it's not a music app though.
No, it's not. It's a protect your heart app. That is a
So
community app. It's going to be the new Instagram, where it's not going to be no bullshit on there. You're going to scroll and see nothing but love. Like, hope, it's going to be what we do, minus the
facts.
BS, and it's going to be an interactive thing where you could get points from finding protected heart pieces. It's going to be real dope. I have a lot of mind things on this shit. Yeah, my computer's been like, look at this one. One is on this shit all day, and the other one, I don't even know what the fuck is going on over here. But I was trying to find this music for this lady because she was asking me. But yeah, ask your questions in the chat. Yeah.
So your number one music is Anya. Listen, Enya. There it is.
And yeah, well, this is my everyday right here. My lovely day, good weather.
Facts.
I wake up to that. Like I jump on my live with this right here because I
I
want people to
mean,
come
like
on my live.
that's an excellent choice to wake up to. I
Yeah, I
mean, I
want
don't
them
know
to
if you
come on
could
my live
go.
and feel the vibe and really vibe out. You
It's
know.
amazing how the music will stimulate you like that, right? You just the frequencies and the sonics. It's important, man. These are important things.
Oh, she said bless. She said, "Can y'all bless y'all with my new stuff?" Okay, so this is what I've been working on in the midst of everything else. Since I've been talking about energy a lot during this whole thing, I was able to create this shirt.
Love it. That's cracking.
So it's protect your energy, but your
Uh huh.
energy is your inner gangster. So if you really think about the gangsterest person that you know in your life, just think about your inner gangster being 1,000 times more powerful, and you need to unleash and protect your inner gangster.
That's real dope, bro.
Okay, this is the one I got. It says, "Your higher self is your inner gangster, your energy. Unleash your energy. Your energy. Unleash your energy." So that's what I was working on recently to release for you guys real soon. They got a shirt.
All right, dope. So we got some more questions coming in.
She
I
said,
don't.
up to this date and based on your journey and all the people you got connected with, how do you get over the fear of leading people to follow your path or journey rather than find their own? Wait, is this two questions? Can you
It
go
feels
back
like
to the?
it's two separate questions, right?
I don't know. Like you got to go back to the first one.
Here we go. Boom.
How do you get over the fear of leading people?
To follow your path or journey rather than finding their own. That's a great question.
It is because me and this lady have been talking, so she knows all the good questions to
It's a
ask.
great question.
She knows all the good questions.
You know the good questions to ask. I like it.
Okay.
So this is
So like,
question number 11. So everybody
I'm
knows.
asking the question button. Okay, cool. You got to bring back a question. We got to bring back because I got to read it and
All
think.
right, no worries. I got you. Here we come. Boom.
Bring back the first one. How do you get? Wait, what's the first one?
There
Yeah.
was two. Here
No.
come. There was those two. Here's
Let
the
me
other
see the
one.
first one. Okay.
Boom.
Up to date, based on your journey, of all the people you got to connect with, tell us some of the of the what?
The let's see. Tell us some of the different paths that led to inner and the cutoff.
Okay, so tell us about different that led to inner connecting with myself. I would think that's what I guess she's saying. They're two separate questions. Okay, cool. Well, ask the question again. You ask it because
All
I'll give
right,
you.
you ready? Up to this date, and based on your journey and all the people you got to connect with, tell us some of the different paths that led to inner peace. I guess. And if that's incorrect, she could correct us in the chat.
I would say shit. That's a good ass question.
Have there been any like momentous occasions or things that really like, I guess, led to major change or transition?
Yeah. Well,
Whoa.
yeah, I would say shit, Timo. Why you do this to me? Um, because she threw the celebrity in the piece and finding higher self. Okay, that's what the rest of the question is. Because she threw the celebrity thing in there. I'm trying to figure out how does that relate to celebrities and meeting them and how that help with my higher self. Well, the thing is that I would say that because of the person and what I've been doing will protect your heart, right? And being out there and putting that message out. people automatically approach me with the thought of me having some type of insight on inner peace or energy. And because of that, now I'm kind of put in a position where I have to explain certain things to certain people. And every time I do that, that always gives me another perspective, or I learn from myself when I explain certain things to people. So I would say like my whole journey is part of my growth. I would say my whole journey is based on growing and getting closer to this goal. And there's no goal. It's more like the closer I get to myself and understanding more about me, the more I can explain people about me, and they get to find out within themselves. Because the thing about me and my journey is everybody is going through their own similar journey. So all I'm doing is confirming with them what they're going through that they might question themselves about. It just helps them not question themselves, you know, because we have doubts. You know, it helps with the doubts. What are the different types that you heard people follow? Okay, I got to go back to all the questions. I gotta go back to the question. Both my sons were born to that joint. First sound they made. As soon as they came out, we listened to that daily. Lovely day. That he's talking lovely day. Please best on what you know. I do stuff. Okay, cool. I'm asking two questions. Okay, cool. I don't see why fear would come to mind when centering yourself. The key is to disconnect with the outside and others to focus on oneself. Like some would follow religion to find peace and acceptance toward themselves and others. Some would believe in their own energy and powers. What are the different types that you heard people follow? Well, the thing is this, right? I've come across everybody that have followed different religions and different groups to aid them in walking them into a space to find themselves. Um, Everything from Islam to 5% Nation to Buddhism to Christianity to it's all been used, and I've come across a lot of people that are using these techniques to find their inner peace, right? And a little bit of me always want to tell them that their inner peace can only be found inside their inner self, that I feel like there's no other entity that can give them that opportunity but themselves. So I'm always, yeah, I'm always the devil's advocate when it comes to that. What are the different types that you heard of? Yeah, everybody follow everything that gets them closer to themselves. There's mad different ways. St. Clair, the Vandal piece. What is your best way to diffuse anger when it arises? How many protect your heart pieces exist? Diffuse anger. Um, there's a couple of things that help me understand anger and joy a lot more easier when you look at it from a personal perspective. For one thing, people need to understand is that there's yourself, you vibrate on a high frequency. Your happy, love, joy, all that is a high frequency part of you. The low frequency would be the anger, the worry, the fear, and all, and you know, just the
The downers.
yeah, the downers, they're all downers. The thing that people need to fully understand is that downers are not just downers because they're downers. They actually send a shock wave through your body that harms your physical being, that harms your cells, that harms your organs, and that puts you at a risk of being sick. You know, because even your immune system gets shocked when you send a negative vibe or a low frequency vibe to your body. So when you understand frequency and what your body needs to be moving at a beautiful pace, like as far as your cells needs love and appreciation. It needs you to be at this space of just beautiful appreciation for life in general, grateful, gratitude way and stuff. So understanding those things, whenever anger or anything comes to you that would put you in a space where you will be low vibrating, you'll ignore it because you're like, that's not what I need for myself. So I don't care how much this person want to see me get up, or how many, I don't care how much it would never ever be equal to the amount of stuff that you take away from yourself. And when you love yourself and appreciate what your body do for you to keep you moving every day, you don't want to do nothing to harm it. So it starts
Facts.
with those thought processes. And then you would never want to introduce anger to yourself. You would want to introduce joy. And when people try to get you angry, you want to get away from them or find a way to find peace within that situation, because there's nothing that people should do that should get you angry in the first place. And if there is, it's because there's a disconnection between you and you. Anger doesn't come from the outside. Anger comes from inside. Feelings is all inner. There's no feelings that come from outside unless somebody punch you in your face and then you feel that. But everything else comes from inside. You feel pain, it's because you internally not agreeing with yourself. It's always that. It's always a split of decision between your soul and what you think you're supposed to be doing. And when somebody tell you that you ain't shit, and you get angry because you accepting that I ain't shit factor, and your soul knows that you are the best at everything, and that's the split decision. You agreeing to it, and you knowing, and your soul knowing it ain't true, and that split alone would get you angry. What's the difference between music info versus book info intake? Music info. Music. What do you mean music info versus book info? To me, it's all somebody else's information. Whatever, whether it's coming in a music form or poetry form or even me talking, it's always somebody else's information. And if you want your own information, you gotta dig deep inside of you.